There are many great moments in Tears of the Kingdom, but there's one that really stands out in my memory, one that still makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up and send a tingle down my spine, and that is the first time going down into the depths. It reminds me of another great moment in the Legend of Zelda series, and that was the first time I entered the Dark World in A Link to the Past. Today I want to take a closer look at the depths, plus have a look at how the depths are a very similar experience to a Dark World in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Well, first of all, let's take a look at the depths. So the depths were one of the best kept secrets related to Tears of the Kingdom before the game release, so much of the marketing was focused on the Sky Islands and the changes that we'd encounter in Hyrule itself. When Tears of the Kingdom was released, it wasn't long before we found our first chasm, and we dove down into the depths of Hyrule for the very first time. As you make your way through the main quest, you'll encounter Joshua and Robbie in Lookout Landing. They're going to introduce you to chasms and the depths. During the Great Upheaval, Hyrule Castle was raised into the sky alongside with other ruins, and huge chasms opened up below Hyrule. The depths are dark, they're dangerous, they're covered in gloom, the tar-like red and black substance that drains the life from Link. Joshua became obsessed with the depths, and helping her out in the game opens up some crucial new tools and techniques like auto-build and the camera feature of the Pura pad. But the depths aren't just a cave in the ground, they are expansive and cover the whole of the Hyrule map. While we learned about the caves pre-release, Nintendo was careful not to reveal the extent of the depths. This is a whole new map under Hyrule. It's got its own checkpoints and secrets, plus side adventures, useful abilities and hidden loot in the form of armor and weapons. Well, the depths stand out as one of the most enticing landscapes we've seen in a Legend of Zelda game, and it calls you to explore and also fight for your very survival. It's challenging from the word go, and for those looking for that tougher experience, well, the depths are where you can find it. It's entirely possible to go through the main story in Tears of the Kingdom and not really interact with the depths too much. You've got a few key quests down there and story beats that do take place in the depths, but if you don't want to explore, you really don't have to. Well, the depths challenge you in various ways. First of all, much of it is shrouded in complete darkness. You'll be able to see the glint of something shining in the distance, like the glow of a Poe or a fire from a lantern. The deadly gloom glistens from any light that touches it, and you have to have your wits about you exploring the depths, because one false move and you can tread in the red and black stuff, and quickly you're going to lose all of your hearts. There's cliffs to fall off to in the darkness. The terrain down in the depths is similar to Hyrule above. You've got hills and cliffs, plus huge roots that tangle and twist through the landscape. Well, light plays a major factor down in the depths. It's not something we've had to worry about on the surface. Bright Bloom Seeds are a new item added to Tears of the Kingdom, and they allow us to shoot out little shoots of light that spring up into torches. These can either be thrown by hand or attached to arrows and shot at surfaces. And light roots are another major source of light. These are huge bulb-like plants that can be seen below the surface, and they're similar to shrines from the Hyrule overworld. They act as quick navigation points, plus they restore gloom-inflicted hearts. Most importantly, they light up the depths, and uncovering all the light roots is a major undertaking in Tears of the Kingdom. Well, the depths are also crawling with enemies, and they're much tougher than the surface enemies. First of all, they are covered in gloom, so if they hit you, you're going to take some major damage. Lynels are tough on the surface, but wait until you get down the depths and you find one covered in armor, then you're going to know the definition of pain. Mini-bosses and bosses also live down in the depths, so you've got Gleeoks, Stone Talus, and many, many more. I was in the northeastern part of the depths searching for some armor, floating down gently with my paraglider, and all of a sudden, a Colgera just came flying out of the shadows. All the bosses from the temples are gathered down in the depths, and you can just stumble upon them, whether you are ready or not. The depths are dark and they're full of danger, but it's also a place brimming with loot and treasure. Many of the game's armor sets can be found there in the depths, and one of the most precious resources in Tears of the Kingdom can also be found in the depths, and this is called Zonite. You can mine this resource or kill enemies and they'll drop it, and it's turned into crystallized charges and then can be turned into energy cells, which allows Link to use Zonite devices for even longer. Poes are another valuable resource found in the depths, which can be exchanged with bargainer statues for armor sets, also dark clumps, which can be mixed in with food to create gloom resistance, and you're definitely going to need this later on to battle Phantom Ganon. Schema stones are also another valuable resource found in the depths. You can add these items to your auto-build menu. This will allow you to create Zonite vehicles from various Zonite devices. So while the depths are very dangerous indeed, there's also significant incentive to go down there, explore, and ultimately unlock all the light routes and discover all the secrets that the depths are hiding. Well, next up, let's have a look at the comparison to a dark world in the Zelda series. So alternative worlds are not a new concept to Legend of Zelda games, and the depths share a lot in common with the dark world from A Link to the Past. I still remember that moment where we're first introduced to the dark world in A Link to the Past, the sound effects, the environment, the tough enemies. There's that moment of realization when you understand that Link is no longer in Hyrule and that you're surrounded by even tougher enemies, and this place has been overrun by Ganon's forces. The dark world is especially frightening given you're turned into a helpless bunny rabbit when you first go in, leaving you feeling even more helpless than before. So while the depths aren't another realm or a parallel dimension, they certainly have a lot in common with the dark world. The map is pretty much 1-to-1 for Hyrule, much like a dark world, and then the enemies, well, they are tough as nails. It's full of ruins, plus they are ancient, and perhaps a people older than the Zonai live there. The Zonai mined the depths for Zonite 10,000 years ago, so it's highly likely the depths are even older. Well, the depths may not be a dark world, but the similarities between above ground Hyrule and the depths are absolutely striking. The depths are huge and have significant locations and structures that Link sights above the ground. For example, when you find shrines, you'll also find light routes down below in the depths. Light routes below shrines are also even named the same as the shrines above, albeit their names are backwards. Well, before Tears of the Kingdom released, I was hoping for a traditional dark world or a parallel land, and I think what we got with the depths is even better. The first time finding a chasm and then jumping down into the depths, realising you're diving for a similar amount of time compared to diving from a sky island to the ground is absolutely fantastic. Well, the fact that you can dive from the sky, down a chasm and all the way to the floor in the depths is absolutely amazing. Well, the depths were definitely one of the best kept secrets in gaming in 2023, and I think one of the best features of Tears of the Kingdom itself. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about the depths in Tears of the Kingdom, and how do you think it compares to a dark world in the Zelda series. Well, that is it for this closer look at the depths in Tears of the Kingdom and how they compare to a dark world. And as always, thank you so much for watching or listening. Well, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you real soon.